guys, and welcome to a new episode of the F1 show. As today we're going to talk about what happened in yesterday's qualifying session for the Japanese Grand Prix, and also we're going to preview what could happen for the race. So let's get started. Let's start with the qualifying first of all. As Antonelli got pole position, and Mercedes won too, and it was a very good, impressive performance from Mercedes. Obviously, before Q3, I thought when the gaps were quite similar between them and Ferrari and McLaren, and you think okay, could pole position here could be very close between the three teams, could be very tight, but as Lewis Hamilton said before, and it feels like whenever Mercedes, reach that Q3, they unlock the performance really well, and they go to this party mode, or which mode, whatever people like to call it. But they unlock the true potential and the true performance, and that's where they reach their peak. Because in Q1, Q2 they don't want to show it. They have to show the gaps, so the gaps let's say not have a better chance to catch Mercedes by knowing the gaps quite early. So. But yeah, very good pole position for Antonelli. Very good lap, very good first lap. Fantastic lap for the first one from him. And then George Russell got second. And I thought George Russell his performance in the whole qualifying he struggled a little bit. I know he's had problems with the car, with the rear end, etc. But yeah, Kimi Antonelli, I have to give him credit because he's stepping up to the plate. It's not like George Russell is gonna, if Mercedes continue to dominate and continue the direction they're in, which I don't think so because it's a long season and things will change very quickly. If Russell is going to compete with Antonelli for the championship, it's not going to be smooth sailing because Antonelli will not go down without a fight if Mercedes continue the way they're in. And the championship battle is between them two. So, but Kim Antonelli, you have to give credit because he got that first pole position, first win in China, and you think okay, how is he going to approach this weekend? And as Jensen Button said, you can clearly see a calm Kim Antonelli, a more calm a Kim Antonelli that is not overcomplicating it, not overthinking it, simple. He's more simple this weekend. Listen, the race there's still a race to come, so let's see. Who knows? Let's see what will happen. But what he's shown this weekend, particularly in the whole qualifying, that he's been quite, he's been taking this qualifying and the whole weekend in a simpler way, in a simple approach, and taking it, session by session, and not thinking too much. And that's the right mentality to have if you want to continue to win races and to fight for a championship. I still think it will be difficult for Antonelli to compete for the championship because he doesn't have the experience. And yes, of course, the qualities that he has in terms of pace and talent is of course there. But the problem is, can he do well in the second half of the season? Because this is where he struggled a lot last season when his form, the good form, started to go away after the first 5-6 races. The good form started to go away, and he had a very tricky time from Imola until let's say Zandvoort, except that race in Canada where he got that first podium. So, but yeah, he was fantastic all weekend, and for the sake of him and for his fans, they will be hoping for you to see him continue like this and perform like this. But this weekend he's been fantastic, and obviously the start and what happens in the first 5 laps could be very key as well, because he'll be hoping to get off the line with a good start. So let's see what happens. I think if Antonelli stays first position after lap 1, then I think he should go on and have a good chance of winning the race. And depends whether also Russell competes with him until the end. But I think if Antonelli gets off the line, still want first position, then I think he has a good chance to win the race for you know for the rest of the action of the race. So yeah, for George, if to finish second, people saying that. I mean, George has not been, it's particularly in Australia and China sprint. He was looking very very strong, and China he's had things where not in his control. Managed to finish second, and then in the race in China got held up by the Ferraris, which denied him a clear fight between him and Antonelli. And in this qualifying, and yes, as Toto Wolff said, they made a setup tweak to his car. I don't know why, but anyway, Toto Wolff said that they made a setup car to his a tweak to his setup car, and that kind of affected George in the qualifying, as you can see with the like I said, his the rear end, and he was also not exactly happy with the comments he made about the car in the team radio. So yeah, people saying that Russell is kind of crumbling. No, I mean, come on. Like the guy he won the sprint, he won the race in Australia, he finished second in China, he finished second in Japan qualifying. It's not the end of the world, is it? Yes, of course, when you're competing against Kim Antonelli and you have much more experience than him, of course you're expected to perform better than him, but like, still a long season. Even if Antonelli starts really well and is top of the championship, it's still a long way to go. We saw it last season, didn't we, with Lando and Piastri. So it's a long way to go. If Mercedes continue to dominate like this, and the fight is between these two, I still trust on Russell to win the championship. Even if Antonelli might have a good start to the season and he is top of the championship for a quite long time. The experience and the quality of George is there, which Kim Antonelli doesn't have the experience and the consistency. He's yet to prove it as well. That he has to have the consistency if he wants to win the championship. So yeah, but another 1-2 for Mercedes. And you look at the other teams. McLaren, they kind of made a step forwards this weekend to some extent. Piastri finishing third. Lando, I thought he did okay, considering with all the problems that once again he's had to deal with. I mean, the guy's been so unlucky in all 3 race weekends with issues he's had to face. Not only in qualifying races, he faces issues also in FP1, FP2, FP3 sessions where you have to do your laps before kind of a preparation for qualifying. And he's not been helped with the issues of the car. He even made a joke on that the car has been seen more in the garage than on the track, and I couldn't agree more with it, because most of the times that I see McLaren's cars this season of Lando, or to some extent Piastri, is in the garage. But anyway, the McLaren they've kind of made a step forward in terms of the car. Obviously, the significant upgrade they're going to bring is going to be in Miami, as Andrea Stella said. But they've made a step forward. They're better than Ferrari in qualifying. In the race, whether they're better than Ferrari or not, let's see. This is yet to prove, because we don't know. McLaren haven't done a lot of racing laps except Lando in Australia, so it's difficult to prove whether they're good in race pace or not. But you've got Ferrari fourth, you've got Leclerc fourth, Hamilton sixth, and these two will be aiming to have a good start. People say Ferrari crumbled in qualifying. I don't think they crumbled, but I think it's just Mercedes. Whenever they use that party mode, as people say in Q3, that's where they excel and unlock their full potential. McLaren, they should be better than them. I agree, Ferrari, but at the same time, I think Ferrari is more better in race pace than qualifying. And even they might start behind the McLaren. I mean, We've seen it before that they can have very good race starts, don't we? So let's see what happens. I think McLaren they did quite well. Are they able to transmit it to the race? Let's see. Red Bull, I mean, oh my God, the struggle once again. And Max Verstappen gets knocked out in Q2. He got out qualified by his teammate, who finished 8th, whereas Max Verstappen finished 11th. I mean, oh Max, what's going on, mate? Like, Red Bull have been obviously the pace of Red Bull was. I mean, they brought upgrades, and nothing worked. Like Haja finishing 8th, Verstappen finishing 11th. I mean, what's happened to Verstappen this season? Like with the mistakes he's made, you know, in Australia, even though some of it you could say it's a car issue, but two poor starts in China, and this one, where he's out in Q2. Like, what's happened? Like, it's strange seeing Max Verstappen like this. He's a guy that we've used to see in the past, like where he is, you know, almost perfect in what he does in terms of driving, the quality, the talent. And for us as football fans, especially me, to see him making mistakes like this and being this bad in terms of results this season is strange. It's almost like he's going through a season like Vettel 2014, where he's facing issues in the car, and he's had bad results, and he started to make some mistakes. Similar thing to Max Verstappen. Listen, Max Verstappen doesn't mean Max Verstappen is a terrible driver right now. It's not like he's forgotten how to drive. But I feel like because of it, I feel like is because that he doesn't like the regulations, that he hates the regulations that is obviously the new, which is listen, I agree. I mean, in terms of race, it's entertaining, but in qualifying, it's not great, of course. But is his criticism on F1 regulations kind of, let's say, affecting the way he drives? Let's say, is it because that he doesn't like the regulations? It kind of makes him, his performances like this. I would like to know the key reason, because it's strange seeing Max Verstappen like this. There has to be a reason. When you set yourself with high standards and you like Max Verstappen and you perform like this season, there must be a reason why this kind of results happen. And listen, Red Bull, they've been absolutely dreadful. Let's not forget. Like Red Bull, the car is terrible. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. It's undrivable. Like, they make upgrades, but they look absolutely nowhere. Even Hadjar, when he out-qualified Max Verstappen, like how many, like 1.1 seconds behind Kim Antonelli, the pole sitter. Like, absolutely embarrassing. Very shocking performance from Red Bull. And for them, I expected Red Bull to be better as a team, considering Max Verstappen is usually strong around Suzuka. Red Bull are usually good in Suzuka. And bringing upgrades, I thought like they should be better. Instead, they look worse. Why is that? I don't know. Very poor from Red Bull, very disappointing. And listen, you could say, as I said, you could point out Max Verstappen, etc. But like, you have to look at that Red Bull car and say like, that car is an absolute terrible car to drive. And yeah, unbelievable. But Alpine finishing, Gasly finishing 7th, great performance from him. Bortoleto 9th, good performance from Audi. Webber got knocked out in Q1, which was very surprising considering how well he's performed this season, the first 2 races and 1 sprint. But yeah, Charles Leclerc finished 4th, and obviously the comments he's made in the radio was he was saying that he was going full throttle, and he was kind of like, let's say, having a go at the new regulations. And listen, I understand this criticism because what you see when those drivers do their qualifying laps is not normal. It's not what you've seen in the past. And listen, I know Formula 1 themselves don't want to admit it because obviously they showed that with Kim Antonelli's onboard full lap, where they didn't show the 130 R onboard lap. But at the same time, you have to look at it's not great. It's not the. It's not. This is when you see these regulations. It's not. This is not the reason why we love Formula One. It's not. Um, it's not great. Yeah, the race is fantastic. Whether you might say it's artificial, whatever, it's fantastic. But in qualifying, it's yeah, big question marks. That's it, guys. Thank you. Have a nice day. See you next time, and goodbye.